You know, it's amazing how many times I hear from somebody that I was a part of a wedding and this amazing moment happened. It was crazy. All of a sudden I turn around and because of this song I played, the whole room kind of came together in a big circle and they were holding each other and they were looking at each other and they were crying. It was amazing. I have no idea how it happened, but man, it was cool. I mean, I got more cards went out because of that moment than anything that happened, anything that I did at the wedding I DJ'd at. I don't know, man. I wish that sort of stuff happened all the time. I hear that all the time. And what I usually say is, why didn't you know it wasn't going to, why did you not know it was going to happen? I mean, who did you talk to? Why didn't you ask more questions? Well, I didn't think it was necessary. You know, I didn't want to impose myself. You know, it's imposing to ask too many questions. You know, I would disagree. I would disagree in a big way. The more questions you ask, the more you know about your client, the more you can create for them. Honestly, who is better qualified at the party they're doing to create the kind of memories they want than you? Who's seen more things? Who knows more about how to move a crowd than you? But you can't just accidentally make it happen. You can't go out and get a bunch of games and a bunch of bits and things you've seen other DJs do and just try them and see how they work. I mean, you can. A lot of guys do that. But what happens is you try it and it maybe works. Or it maybe doesn't. Or you try it and it doesn't work and it's a really awful thing and then you made it really difficult or embarrassing or upsetting. Now you're like, oh, I wish I would have known. Okay, there are ways to be sure that the ideas that you come up with are going to work. And most of it is having to do with listening to your clients and asking the right questions. And honestly, the number one question that you can ask that will get the most out of your clients is why? I mean, really, why wouldn't you ask? Really? I'm going to have a cake at my wedding. Why? Well, all of a sudden they're in their head about why they've chosen a cake. Maybe it'd just be, well, because people do cake. Okay, good. At least you know. I'm going to do a reception at a country club. Why? Well, I like country clubs. Well, why? Well, I'm a big golfer. You are? Tell me more about your golfing. Are all of your friends going to be into golfing? How about your family? Oh, everybody loves golfing. We love golf. We love this place. In fact, we're members. This is our favorite. Tell me what kind of cool stuff has happened when all of you guys get together at this golf. Well, whenever we get together at this golf club, we do a thing that happens every single time. It's really cool. It's a kind of a tradition. Come on. That's gold. And you wouldn't have gotten to that if it would have just, where is it going to be? What time do I got to be there? And what kind of music do you want? How about why do you want that kind of music? Think about that. Hey man, I want to have the YMCA, and I want to have, well, of course you'd have the YMCA because that works every time. You know, okay, I want to have Bruno Mars. Yeah, no problem, Bruno Mars. And I love Pink Floyd, A Comfortably Numb. Be sure you play that. Okay, you could say okay, but how about why? Why do you want that song? Why do you want Comfortably Numb? I mean, you know that people don't dance to Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. People smoke weed to Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd, but they don't dance to it, right? Oh, yeah, no. I guess it's because I have a lot of my college buddies there for my fraternity. And there was a thing that we used to do. We actually had a lyrics and everything that we rewrote the song. And yeah, there's going to be like 15, 20 of us there. It's going to be really cool. Well, that's cool. Guess what now you can do with the microphone as the DJ? You can create a moment around that. You could just play Comfortably Numb. That's fine. And then part of the people in the room will be like, what is this guy doing? Why is he playing such, why? Pink Floyd, are you nuts? We were just dancing to Bruno Mars. Or you can set it up to be sure the room understands why this is a cool song. Draw all the college frat guys out. They do a thing so that everyone in the room, regardless of their age, later says, you wouldn't believe it. The DJ played Comfortably Numb at this wedding and it was awesome. Oh, I don't know how he got away with it, man. There was a thing that he did. Guess who gets credit for that? You. Because if you just play it, and then the guys kind of maybe see that they're there and they're kind of at the bar over here and they're not really singing and it's not happening, or you get to create it because that's what you do, for goodness sakes. Here, my favorite example of this is a couple who said to me they're not going to have cake at their wedding. Most people do, and I usually know the answer, you know, because we're going to have a different dessert. But instead I just said, well, why not a cake? Well, you know, because we're doing something different. We're doing popcorn balls at a wedding. And I could have went, okay, well, that's weird. That's fine. It doesn't really affect me, but whatever. No, I said, well, why popcorn balls? Well, you can see him kind of reaching like, well, this isn't the information that I thought was relevant, but I'll tell you, my grandmother, who's very, very sick and who's been trying to get to all the weddings this year, makes popcorn balls for everything. She's been doing it since I was a baby. And she brings them to Valentine's Day, and when she comes to your house, and every Christmas and every wedding, you get a few popcorn balls as a gift from her. So we asked her if she wouldn't just do the desserts and make her popcorn balls. I said, are they good? She goes, no, they're awful. Okay, they're dry and they're not very tasty, but they're popcorn balls and they're grandma's, and everybody expects and is excited about getting grandma's popcorn balls. I said, well, does everybody know about it? Well, our family does, which is now, I'm talking about a quarter of the people in the room. I said, okay, so I have the information, what it is, why it's important, because it's grandma, that she's sick and we're not sure she's going to make it. So all I have to do now is to create a moment around, hey, we were going to cut a cake today, but we're going to do something different, if you notice. And what I did was I made sure the cake table was filled with the popcorn balls. They built a pyramid of popcorn balls, 350 of these things, all wrapped in colorful cellophane. And the bride and groom came over to them. I had them pick 2 of them off that I knew wouldn't fall off. They fed each other. I made sure they all knew that grandma's been making these things for years, and for the first time she is giving popcorn balls for everyone in the room. This tradition that's been going on for 30 years at this special celebration. So before you leave, you got to try grandma's popcorn balls, and when you're done tasting them, you go tell her how much they're great. Every last human being in that room got a popcorn ball. Every last human being, whether they liked popcorn or not, tried it. Most of them ate these dry ass popcorn balls. And every single one of them went to grandma, hugged her, cried with her, thanked her for making them. Now that came out one announcement that I had to make, that if I wouldn't have asked why popcorn balls, would have never happened. I did this wedding in South Dakota. I did it almost 15 years ago. And I at least get 2 referrals a year from that wedding. And the first moment they remember is grandma's popcorn balls. Why aren't you asking why? You have some comments about this or some ideas that you'd like to share? Write them down in the comments below. Email me, bill@billherman.com. Or if you want to learn more about what I teach in my workshops, there are workshops available all the time. Go to entertainment-experience.com or find me on Facebook or wherever. Thanks again for listening to Creative License. I'm Bill Hermann.